about to see peace destroyed. It'll never be restored when I unleash these beastly hordes on your CD stores. Wanna stop it? You gon' need a priest, at least 3 swords, a license to ill from the Beastie Boys, 3 Ouija boards and a squeegee. And please be warned, don't ask what the squeegee's for. All the holy water, acid bath that'll eat these floors, eat a hole in the rhyme book. You see these horns? And as for me, you ask when I'm gone, will he be mourned?
I think in some cases it's about tuning up an existing word, and in other cases it's about bringing through new words.
Yeah.
Like I upgraded intelligent to intelligental because there's really nothing smart about a brain without a heart.
They're getting elbows to the penis. Yeah, big deal. I took some little kid's big wheel and spit in this freaking big kid's meal. Quit trying to bite me and pinch, you wink, sit still. You just put your 6-inch heel through my pin's windshield?
The world is filled with obvious things that nobody happens to notice. Ignore the obvious. Discount what your eyes tell you because science hasn't validated it as real. Even though science is the slow younger brother of mysticism, struggling up a mountain to prove what nature-based people know innately because they feel it and because the environment feeds them with knowledge and information so they can interact with harmony. The word oblivious to the obvious, the only thing that separates them is a lie, L-I. We don't know what is the force we're working in because we're so ignorant. I mean, we are a fish in water, but I think in our case, rather blind to the substance in which we dwell, I think we're living in an echo chamber and a hall of mirrors, and that language is constantly echoing and reflecting either cultural consciousness or innate human wisdom. And because we have been deafened to our definitions, we are clueless. And yet the language is constantly echoing and reflecting, talking back to us. In some cases, contradicting and undermining. In other cases, offering a little jeweled gift, if we would but notice. I also share sacred path words, which are words that reflect our innate genius to us and remind us of what we already know. And the simplest example is the fact that earth and heart are the same word. And it's just where you put the H. So yes, I think it's time to become more aware, to find more of these sacred path words. One of my favorite I've used, and people have it in poetry and such. I was walking in a park overlooking the ocean. This was years ago, and I said to my invisible friends, give me a new word. And they gave me the true meaning of beautiful. And all of these are just self-evident. To be truly beautiful is to be you too full. Be your wholesome self. There is nothing as exquisitely beautiful than a whole being who is true to who they are. You likely know omniscient, all-knowing, omnipotent, all-powerful, omnipresent, present everywhere. We know that is infinite intelligence. We're tuned in, we can, but we're not that vast. But the word that applies to us, I've never met anyone who knew it, and it is omnificent, possessing full creative power. And someone said to me, I'm not creative. And I said, well, we've already demonstrated as a species that we have full destructive power. So the opposite has to be true. And we have the power of the word, which has been a very overlooked power. But Ken Burns, the documentarian, said it's the most powerful force, I believe, on earth, the English language. And death is an anagram for hated. So what an interesting coincidence. Everything is echoing and reflecting. We're creating out of consciousness and the word, just as you were saying. And we are cultivating our hearts so that our words become more beautiful, because right now people talk about we're writing our will. We may be here to live it. And if it's our will that other people suffer because they disagree with us, I mean, well, that's what we'll be living in. I mean, paint the picture of what you really want in your life and inhabit it energetically at various intervals. You have no choice or voice unless you have a vision, unless your eyes are open. And the words themselves say that. It's like CH, oh, I see, E. And E is an energy in motion. Subscribers to my website, wordmagicglobal.com, can download my free ebook called The Book of E, a book of alphabet alchemy. So, choice, oh, I see. You can't make one unless you do. Voice, oh, I see. You have nothing to say unless you have your eyes open and are seeing through your own lens and endeavoring to clear it more and more and more. We need a new lens. Most important, we need a new lens through which to view the world. Well, we see the world through the word. A new lens means the need to tune up the language, tune up the false notes, so that they're very resonant, so that they play this human instrument in a way that is scintillating, that is going to have me singing my high notes. This labyrinth of insanity created by humanity is stupefying all our youth who go insane in search of truth, since rarely do they ever find a grown-up who is of sound mind. But trapped in city idiocies, inequities that hideously beget the grim scenarios of ghettos, slums, and barrios, our children dance to violence, romance the deadly heroine, while all that they are dreaming of is dying, literally, for love. Like towering trees to toothpicks whittled, our children's souls are thus belittled. Yet still we make our foolish choices, drowning out our children's voices, unconcerned that they are crying while the earth and air are dying. For we are quick to sacrifice their future for a paltry price. For nothing ever could suffice a parasite in paradise. What is incredibly ignorant is to think that God is male and there's a holy trinity and not a metaphor, because everything is metaphor, and you can't have nothing manifest. As much as science has taken, I mean, it's just the most ridiculous thing. Birthing parent, not mother, not woman, pregnant person. What? This is so dumb.
Yeah.
And it is so, it is diabolical. And Orwell said, politics corrupts language, and language, once corrupted, has corrupting real-world influence, but that we can start making changes at the verbal end. That is what I'm here to introduce people to, a concept of empowerment, that if the word made the world and our world is in anguish, must be time to get free from the spells of our language. In all our efforts to heal our psyche and raise consciousness on the planet, we have all but overlooked the very instrument of conscious thought and communication. Yet our forked-tongue English language, which is the leading software of the Western mind, is itself in great need of retuning and upgrading. Over the course of my life, I cultivated a heightened sensitivity to how the total normality of insanity in society is echoed, reflected, and reinforced by the English language, which inadvertently yet unavoidably propagates an antiquated and manipulated vision of reality promulgated by the ancient church as an instrument of mind control at a time when people had to surrender their mind if they wanted to keep their heads about them, quite literally. So if we elect collectively to upgrade the English language to a higher frequency through our linguistic creativity and naturally occurring verbal eccentricities, then ultimately even clatter from our idle chatter, prattle patter, blabber blather and palaver as we jabber gab and babble on, will turn our glowing terms from verbal vapor, either hanging in the air or trapped on paper, into tiny bits of shiny matter as we gather, chat, and natter on, and with new skill at thrilling statements that instill fulfilling imagery of higher possibilities, will finally still the quiet riot of the wild child's manic panic through the mind, so we can flip the switch, enlightening every circuit of our consciousness with the electric surge of verbiage that encourages superb and selfless services to spread from soul to soul around the globe by what is said in all the light years up ahead. And then, from the islands of silence between all that's spoken, we will listen as doors to the heartland spring open.
Me pushing up daisies, that thought is impossible. Is it flashing across the news? Pause the news was caught with a prostitute with a huge Johnson boobs and a monstrous tube of lube and a bra, some boots, some panties, and an aqua blue monster swallowing a popsicle, playing tonsil pool. So kill the rumors, it ain't happening. I'ma rap till I'm fossil fuel.